I mean, you know, like what harmonics sort of got our start in with music that was more like pop, hip hop, electronic music, and some rock was in there into as well. And then, you know, we got really focused on sort of the rock side of things, and there were a bunch of us who were always sort of like secretly hoping we would make it back over to hip hop and pop music again. And so we were, you know, brainstorming over the years ideas that would be fun, like what games could we make, and dancing sort of just came up as a sort of like a natural game focus, just because pop music and hip hop, it's so much about dancing, and dancing is so close to the musical experience anyways, right? Because you're feeling the rhythm and the beat, and you're sort of like interacting with music in pretty much a similar way you would be when you're making music with an instrument. So we knew someday we had to make a dance game, but we just didn't want to do it until the technology was right. In all of our games, there's a sort of an authenticity streak to them that's super important to us, to make sure that people are actually, what they're experiencing is as close to the real thing as possible. And so you see that really coming to fruition with Rock Band 3. And so we knew that when we made a dance game, it had to come off as that you had to be doing real dancing, not just posing or moving your feet around or anything like that. It had to be real dancing. So, you know, we looked around to see if there was any technology to let us do it, and there wasn't. So we just sort of like sat on it, and we were working on Rock Band and that sort of stuff. And then Microsoft showed us Kinect a while ago now, and that was when we really realized that there was a piece of technology that would allow us to do the kind of experience that we wanted to do. It starts with the songs, and it's really a group of us who are sort of invested in that intersection between the choreography and the songs. And so we sit down and we all come with sort of like our internal list of our favorite songs. So for me, I'm coming with like late 80s and early 90s, like super cheesy hip hop songs.
Basically get assigned a song, and we have an edited version of it, so we edit it down to like 2-3 minutes. And we go back to our room or wherever we feel inspired. We can be just back at home, where we just zone out and get into it. And we come up with choreography that is fun enough and challenging for people, but still easy enough for people to pick up and have fun with. How we break it down is we make sure the chorus stays the same sequence, so you get familiar with it and you feel more comfortable when it comes back around. And then when we do with the verses, depending on what difficulty we want it to be, like if we want it to be a hard routine or an easy routine, we just kind of sequence different moves together.
You know, Naoko and the choreographers will bring the perspective of like, what would it be really fun to dance to?
Music videos can be an inspiration, just whatever we feel at the moment and what we feel the song is. If it's an old school song, we try to keep it old school with the old school moves. If it's a new school song, we do new school moves. So once we get the routine down, we have a choreography review. They check it out, they're like, okay, like, you know, what's gonna work with the camera, what's not gonna work. If, like, you know, our body's positioned weird, if too much crossing in front of the arms, maybe it might not work well. So we adjust whatever we need to adjust, and then we take out what we think is the easiest move. We make the easy routine out of that. And we just sequence them, we loop the move over and over again, so you keep doing the same thing, and then you switch to a different move and you keep doing that same. So it's a lot of repetition for the easy difficulty. And then we do the same thing with medium, like, oh, this can be a medium move, it could be looped, you know, and then that's what we do medium, easy, and then we keep expert the way it is originally.
That's the really fascinating part of the process, because, you know, it's a video game. And there's the Kinect sensor, which is watching the player dancing and moving around, and we have to compare that and give you things like score and stars and feedback about what you're doing well and not doing well and all that. And so it's interesting working with the choreographers to strike the right balance of moves that look fun and are really fun and make you feel really good, but that are good for the space you're in, because, you know, you're not in a dance club or you're in your living room. And so we sort of a back and forth until we know that it'll be fun to dance to in your living room, and then we can actually score it and do all the detection stuff. And then we get to the fun stuff like mocap and shooting all that stuff, and all the animators then bring it in and make it look good. And we have to teach all those moves in the game, so we have to be able to let you focus on each move and loop it over and slow it down. And
the good thing about Break It Down is basically you're learning. Like, you're not just following an avatar on the screen and being like, okay, I'm lost, I don't know that move, like, and then trying to fake the funk. You basically going to break it down to know what you're doing and learn the choreography. So it's like having your personal dance class at home. In Break It Down, you learn and you can slow it down if you like if something's kind of throwing you off, especially when we have moves that double up on one side. So you have like a single, and then a double up. It's like, whoa, what was that? You can slow it down, see it really clearly, and then speed it back up. And you know, it can be repeated many times, and you just have fun with it.
So Connect and Dance Central come out at the same time on November 4th in North America, and then shortly after in Europe.